So again, medical school, college, it was more didactic. As you do your residency, this is just hands-on training how to be a doctor. And then when I came back to do a fellowship in rheumatology, I was in a place where if you didn't ask questions, somebody thought they thought you were an idiot. So, and I always asked a lot of questions anyhow. So I thought that was fun, and the people I was with liked to argue just as much as I did. So that really worked out well. And we could always, and at some point we would go back to the lab and try and establish things. So it wasn't really until then that I was given freedom, in a sense, to ask questions and then go out and try and do an experiment that would answer that question.
What was the college where you had the seminar?
Oh, this was Lake Forest College. It's a small liberal arts school outside of Chicago, and in fact, it was great. I mean, and it was the chemistry department, which is where I got most of my instruction, most of my scientific instruction was actually quite good. Most of these people would go back and forth. Abbott Labs was about 10 miles away, so many of these people made their living, if you will, as chemists at Abbott Labs, or actually there was a lot of food chemistry done at Kraft. They had some of their experimental kitchens, if you will. I didn't realize that there was so much chemistry involved in making spaghetti or whatever it was that that Kraft, macaroni, I guess, macaroni and cheese, that orange stuff that, I think there's a lot of chemistry in there. So, so at any rate, they made their living doing chemistry, and they were doing experimental chemistry, and they really enjoyed it. I think they all really enjoyed the experimental work that they did, but the kind of chemistry that one gets in college isn't the same. It isn't quite the same thing. So, and I think that's true no matter where you go. I think, though, that at a larger research institution, there are people actually, they'll take you in for a period of time into their laboratory, and there were no science labs, if you will, where there were labs on campus, but they weren't science labs in the sense that people were asking questions that they didn't know the answer to already.
So did you say it was during your fellowship when you got started with, can you remember what some of your first questions were? Or?
Mostly, it's funny looking back, most of them were not very sophisticated, but